Hey guys, so this is going to be my full breakdown slash tutorial on how to do the Yasuo fast dash. Um, I did release a video on like a quick tip on how to do it, but that was basically just the basics, and I didn't really go into too much detail about it, which there is a lot of detail to cover on this mechanic. And first of all, before I even start the video, the tutorial, I want to make sure that I say this and say this is not an easy mechanic to learn at all. So if you're looking for something easy to learn, this is not for you. This definitely takes a lot of time. Um, it's something that I feel like you never truly really master because to do this consistently on a consistent basis and during in game that you train your your mechanics to be able to do this on a consistent basis without even having to think about it is very difficult. So I wanted to say that to you guys. So anyone who has frustrations on why they can't do this or whatever the case may be, just know that it takes a lot of time to learn. You might have seen me do it just in a little bit, just there. Hitting the minions a little bit. But basically, if you haven't watched my first video, the Yasuo fast dash is a mechanic that basically it speeds up the animation of your consecutive dashes. So your consecutive dashes mean any dash after the first dash. So it's important to realize that your first dash you're not gonna speed up. It's not you cannot speed it up. It's gonna be what everyone else's first dash is gonna look like. But your consecutive dashes after the first can be sped up. So they should look something like this. So something like that, where you can see that in between my dash, each consecutive dash, there's really no cooldown going on there. Like it looks like I have no cooldown, and it really is that I have no cooldown because it's literally just going so quickly that I'm moving constantly. So you can see right there, there's no there's no wait. Now the difference is if I don't use this mechanic, this is the difference between me not using it and using it. So here I go. You can see how I kind of had a like pause in between there, and like this is me like spamming it, right? You can see like it's like almost delayed. So like I'm gonna show you why spamming doesn't work. You can see how much slower the animations are of my dashes. So spamming is not how you want to do it, and that's not what we're doing at all. People are like, "Oh, you just spamming on minion waves, like whatever." But I'm not spamming. I'm timing it. I'm timing the dash as soon as it comes off cooldown. And the way I do this, me personally, you can do this a different way, but this is what is the most consistent and works the most for me. So after my first dash, so I dash onto this minion. After this first dash, if you notice, it goes off cooldown. Like it'll go on cooldown right as it ends. Like it does like a little spin cycle almost, really quickly like that. Um, I kind of do a slight pause. Like I don't spam, so I do the slightest pause, and then I use my ability, my dash key twice. You can do it three, four times, however many times you want, as long as you're not spamming it. So this helps, especially if, let's say, sometimes maybe the game doesn't like register your keyboard hit. So I don't like to use it just once. There are times when you're trying to do this and it won't register one of your key presses. So you definitely want to make sure that you're pressing at least twice or more. Twice works perfect for me. It never really fails. If I do mess up, it's because I got the timing wrong. And I want to stress that again. I have not mastered this technique myself. I do it on a pretty consistent basis, and um, especially when I'm really trying to do it, I pretty much pull it off every single time. It's just in game settings, like sometimes it's just so difficult to like keep track of the timing, and especially at different stages of the game. So this is what I'm going to go over right now. Um, Timing changes based on the level of your dash, because the cooldown of your dash changes as it levels. So your level 1 dash is never going to be as fast as your level 5 dash. Also, movement speed matters in the game as well. So your movement speed, the biggest factor of your dash is movement speed. So as you see, I have 0 items in my inventory right now. This is me dashing with no boots. And you can see how fast I'm going, actually. You can see how fast this dash really is. It's super quick. There's no cooldown in between. So um, the movement speed isn't affecting the cooldown, it's affecting how fast the actual animation is. So it's just going to be actually a lot faster if you have movement speed. So that's why things like Triforce, Static Shiv, I believe, still gives movement speed. Let me check that. Yeah, Static Shiv, things like that. Any of the Zeal items that Yasuo runs will um, speed up your dash, and I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So I don't kill all the minions. I'll just go Phantom Dancer and then like Berserker Greaves, right? So you'll see that you can see how fast the animation is now. The timing is still the same in a sense. It's just faster, so I have to do the timing quicker. So the timing is the same because it's a level 5 dash. I still have to do it at the end of the animation as soon as it ends, but I have to make sure that I'm realizing I have to hit it a little bit. I have to time it a little bit faster in a way. So I don't know. Maybe I confused you guys, but um, the best way I can explain it is if you have more movement speed, you're gonna go faster. If you're going faster, you're gonna have to time it faster. So that's basically how you do the fast dash, and the best way I probably can explain it. Also, you'll notice that I'm clicking on the ground. That is not to make this mechanic work. It has nothing to do with clicking on the ground. The reason why I say you should be clicking on the ground is because as Yasuo, you always want to make sure you're in motion. Also, if you notice, I'm dashing fast, but I'm still aware of where I'm going. A lot of people are just trying to dash fast, and they're not really realizing where they're going or what they're doing, or like even if they're in range of the next minion, kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you're always aware of what you're doing, which is another reason why this is a very hard mechanic. I can't stress that enough. Don't be, down on yourself if you can't get it right. So I'm always aware of where my character is, and where I'm dashing to and where I'm going to end up. So in order to control where I'm going and how I'm and where I'm going to be at on my next dash, I make sure I'm clicking on the ground. Just one click. I mean, you could do several clicks in between. It doesn't matter. But you do have to be really quick, in a sense, to do this. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't affect the timing or anything. It's not going to do anything like that. It's simply to control where you're dashing to. Because what good is speed if I can't control where that speed is going? So I want to make sure that I'm aware and controlled, like a controlled speed. So you'll notice that I'm clicking on the ground. It doesn't really matter where I click on the ground unless I'm trying to hit a minion at a specific angle. Right, so this is going to be an example of that right here. So from the same spot, I'm going to literally just E, and the whole goal of this is to, we're treating this as a champion right here. So, like, let's say I'm trying to run him down and get as close as possible to this champion, and or even be in auto attack range. Well, this is me not using any kind of clicking while dashing. This is me just dashing. Look at where I go. You see where I end up on the opposite side of him, and then I'm not even in melee range. I'm not in Q range. I have to walk all the way toward the person, which they could just walk away this way or walk to their turret by the time I even catch them or catch up to them. So now I'm from the same spot, this little corner piece right here. I'm gonna add in the clicking in between my dashes. So you're gonna see the difference is a pretty big deal in my opinion. It may not look like a big deal, but it is. So this is that. You see how I end up here? What I did was I dashed through this minion. I clicked somewhere around here so that my character can give me like an angle to hit this minion in the right on this side right here on the side so that it can send me more this way. And this is pretty much what I'm talking about using angles and why you want to click um, on the ground before each dash that you do, um, because there's like, even though we're dashing where it seems like there's no cooldown, um, the animation is ending, and so our character, even if we time it perfectly, we can still throw in a movement command, and Yasuo will kind of obey that movement command slightly. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that after I dash, he's gonna do a slight movement, even if I time it perfect, which is going to allow me to hit minions at different angles that I need to, especially when I'm dashing so fast that I need to be able to control myself. So the last thing I wanted to go over is the invisible auto tech, or the really fast auto tech as I like to call it. Um, and this is doable by combining the fast dash with a buffered auto attack animation cancel. So basically what this means is that instead of clicking on the ground in between our dash, we're gonna auto attack a minion instead. So after our first dash is over, you can input a command and it'll buffer that command at the end of the dash. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dash through this minion and I wanna hit oh, that one died, but I'll dash through the cannon and then I'm gonna auto attack this guy and then dash through him as well. So you see how fast that auto attack came out? If I don't buffer my auto attack, it's not gonna come out that fast. So the way this works is that after my first dash, I'm gonna input a auto attack command on the minion that I'm close to, and then I'm gonna time my E again so that I can keep going with my fast dash. And you can do this as many times as you want. You do need a lot of attack speed for this to work. I have 1.78 right now and it works. You probably only need like 1.7, I'm not sure, but it's not a realistic auto attack speed to have. It's just kind of like nice to do in team fights, or like um, just good to know. Or if you do end up having this amount of attack speed, you can do some pretty cool stuff and clear waves faster, etc. But it's just more fun to do. It's not really realistic in terms of today's game. Back in season 4, Yasuo was able to um, do this all the time, because he would run a lot of attack speed, and then the masteries were um, there were a good amount of ways to get to that point, but not so much anymore. But that is the video. I hope that everyone figured out that this helps everybody for the most part. I just wanted to kind of update what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Hopefully that helped a lot of people. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it takes a lot of practice. Don't feel down if you can't get it perfect the first try. Um, and yeah, thank you for watching.